from Gizmodo.com, and Power Rangers is going cosmic again, and it's bringing back the Dino Fury team. So what's going on here is just quick summation. At first, when we got this title and I just saw the logo, which DJ, we're not seeing here, but DJ put in the thumbnail tonight. I don't know, this article doesn't have that, but anyway, when I first saw that, I was like, really? Why would you do Fury twice in a row? Why did we do Fury this last time? Why did we take two words from different Power Rangers series already and sandwich them together? I think there should always be at least one new word in a Power Rangers title. Like,
yeah, you can't,
if you got to do Force every so often, whatever. Fury seems like a weird one to keep doing after Jungle Fury,
yeah.
Or was there even another one that I'm not thinking of? I think that was the only one.
There were two Dinos, and there was one Fury.
And now it's like, okay, we did 2 seasons of Dino Fury, and that was kind of interesting, I guess, because it was the first time in a long time that we didn't change it to Super.
Well, Beast Morphers did that too.
Oh, Beast Morphers. Oh, that's true. It wasn't Beast Super Morphers.
No.
Or Super Beast Morphers. Okay, so I guess this one didn't do that either. But then, so it kept the same title for 2 years, and then now to shake it up, but to sort of let people know that it's kind of the same show, we're keeping the Fury part, which is super generic.
Cosmic. Oh, so they go into space? Is that basically what it is?
Yeah, they're going to space.
Oh,
well,
wow.
I mean, there's a new word. We've never had cosmic.
No, and I like that. That's good.
Word.
But, okay, there should always be a new word, but you shouldn't use a word twice in a row, even if it's a new cast. I don't, even if it's the same cast, I don't think. But
I mean, they used Force 1,000 times.
well, that's what I mean, though, is
row.
that I don't think Fury tells anybody that it's the same show.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the logo, the fact that it still has a dinosaur in the middle kind of tells you that. But then it's kind of weird to have a show called Cosmic Fury. There's a dinosaur in the middle.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
they want people to know that it's the same thing. I don't
So,
know.
are they pulling from a different Sentai, or is it still the dino costumes?
So far, we don't know.
Dino Knights.
We don't know yet. The Sentai that everybody seems to be hoping they go with is Kaiju Ranger, which is, and I'll show you a picture of those outfits. They're kind of cool looking, and I'm hoping that's what they go with too. Here is Kaiju Ranger. And I've not seen any of this, and I'm not a big Sentai guy, so I don't keep up with these real hard. But, DJ, can you see that?
Yes, it's very small, but I think I
sorry.
can. But I can look it up. I also have a computer.
But yeah, they're kind of busy, and there's a bunch of costumes, so you wonder if they'll add more characters to the cast if they go with that. But the reason, one of the big reasons that, or I'll say the two big reasons that people think that that's the Sentai they'll go with is A, it is space themed, and this new show is clearly space themed, and the showrunner made a little video where he came out and said, we're going to space again. And secondly, it's got the same colors from Dino Fury, so it's a real easy switch over. But it's also possible that they keep the Dino Fury costumes around and like do double morphs or something, because Megaforce did that when they went to Super Megaforce. So that's entirely possible. There's also the outside ballpark chance that it's 100% new footage and that they don't go to a Sentai at all, because there was a rumor for a while that they weren't going to continue adapting Sentais, and that after season 30 we were going to reboot entirely. And that's kind of my big question tonight. I put that in the title. Is this going to be the last season of Power Rangers? Nobody knows, but what's interesting is, after this was announced, that question, it seemed like in speculation, YouTube videos, and all the journalism and stuff kind of went by the wayside, and people just got kind of excited that there was a new series announced, and people that really like Dino Fury and like that cast were excited that it was continuing that show and those characters. And I'm like, but we're kind of missing the lead here a little bit, because we've had the rumor for a long time that we were about to reboot, and that Netflix is going to have, and this isn't a rumor, we know for sure that Netflix is about to do a bunch of different projects aspects. We don't know if they're all within the same continuity, but they're all supposed to be for different audiences. So there's going to be kid stuff and adult stuff, maybe everything in between. It sounds like they're trying to do, and I've talked about this before, but it sounds like they're trying to do what Paramount Plus has been doing with Star Trek, where it's just throw a million things at the wall and see if any of it sticks.
None of it sticked with Star Trek. So
they're hoping, they're wanting to do animation and live action, stuff for kids, stuff for adults. So will the Sentai-based stuff continue even with all of those things has been the question all along. And again, the rumor has been, no, it's all going to stop in favor of that stuff. But curiously, the last season of Dino Fury was aired on Netflix, and there is every reason to think that that's the only place it will go again with this. We know it's going to drop on Netflix, and I think one of the actors or producers or someone involved in the show, I can't remember, mentioned like it going to Netflix or like that being where it's dropping, but not anything else. So like I don't know for sure if that's all that is, but I don't know if that helps us have a sense of to determine if it's continuing or not. It's like people seem to be just sort of making the assumption, oh, this means we're going to keep having more Power Rangers. No, it doesn't, not necessarily. It also doesn't mean that we won't continue having Sentai-based stuff and the original continuity. But Jason, part of the reason I'm thinking that this might perpetuate the idea, or that, I don't know, that I'm surprised I'm not still seeing that rumor as much, that we're not going to have more Sentai-based stuff after this, is because it's the one more season for that cast, which we have not done since In Space.
yeah.
And if it's your big anniversary season, the 30th anniversary, we've been hearing a lot of talk about they're wanting to do, heavy lore stuff and bringing back as many characters as they can and stuff. If it is another giant legacy season, it would make a lot of sense that it being the last season, you would just keep the cast you have already instead of recasting again. Because that also, A, you don't have to go out and find a new cast, but B, you can make a big deal out of history and lore and stuff. Like, look, we hung on to our own lore, and then we can go back to, a bunch of other stuff. And then there is, let me pull my notes up, because I had another suggested with this too, and I'm forgetting what it was. It's also just weird that they didn't announce it as what the Sentai is, and whether or not this is the last season.
Yeah.
So, like, we don't know either direction. Like, so I don't know. It's really hard to say.
Just real quick.
Yeah.
Just on the off chance that they do more Power Rangers and that they do more Sentai.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple that I want.
Yeah.
That a lot of people want. One is Power Rangers Train Force. They need to adapt the train season.
And that was like 10 years ago.
Yeah. But I mean, they did Beast Morphers.
Sure.
And that was 2010.
Yeah.
So, and then...
No, there's precedent. I'm not saying it won't happen. It's just, yeah, folks have wanted that for a long time. But you can see why we didn't do it, because trains are big in Japan in a way they're not here.
Yeah. And then also...
And if we did it, my worry is it would be like Pirates, where they just never even mention that they're all dressed up like trains.
Yeah.
Because that season, if you haven't seen those outfits, it's not just that they go around in a train. And we've had train stuff in Power Rangers before, like Time Force. But, DJ, have you seen those outfits? Because they have train tracks, like, around the helmets.
Yeah. Well, no, I thought you were talking about the pirate ones, but yeah, I wouldn't want it to be something like that.
And then...
And then what's the other one?
Do you know of the Sentai, like, 6 years ago? That's, like, 2 teams? And it's the spy team and the police team.
Yes, people have been begging for that for a long time.
Yeah.
But neither of those are clearly things that we'll get for Cosmic Fury.
Well, no.
Because I don't know how you'd adapt the space stuff for that.
Yeah.
Cosmic trains.
So yeah, and then the other big question I have is if Zed is the big bad. Because if they want to do a big legacy season, and especially if it ends up being the last season of the whole series, that's very plausibly what they'll do, because they set up Zed in Dino Fury, and he's appeared once and is supposed to appear again, probably in just one episode, in the back half, which they haven't put up yet. So there's still one more half of that season to go, and we know Zed's going to be there. And a lot of people were thinking that he might be the big bad for this last season, and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But now that it's getting a third season, that question's kind of there again.
Yeah.
Jason's got hiccups. What an inopportune time for hiccups.